Well, you know it's going to be an interesting day when I turn up on commentary. Hey, everybody, welcome here to the Zelda 1 Randomizer weekly race. I'm here joined with Elsoa. We got something special today.
We have a new version of the randomizer that has had a couple of updates today because of making sure all the flags work out and everything works out well. But more importantly, we have an upcoming tournament, and these are the flags for said tournament that is coming up.
That is correct. So we do have the Speed Gaming Live 2021 flags that are going to be exhibited here for all of you to watch. And I already know who I'm rooting against for this stream.
Is it the Mechanic 7?
I'm not Redbird grad.
Okay, how about Mechanic 8? So it looks like we are getting the best possible start screen ever. Trust me, I am not biased at all. The start screen is actually terrible.
Here we are up on Death Mountain, where you have to deal with everything. Now, that screen's not too bad. Octoroks aren't bad. P-hats aren't really all that bad.
It seems the Death in Death Mountain has decided to go on vacation.
And the bow, too.
Well, the seat is cursed.
But Noistra isn't in this race.
That we know of.
I'm looking through the entries. We have Chester, Sidetown, Homer J. Smash, Fury SK, Captain Green, Random Effects, Shaddy, Bogey, Truant Gamer, F. Coughlin, Eat My Steel, Dr. J, PhD, Potato Pony, Chaos Finale, and Zarnax. None of those are named Noistra.
But you're assuming nobody else is running offline.
Okay, that's true.
Now,
anyways, so let's go ahead and talk about these flags.
So the first major thing to note about these flags is it is a mixed second quest overworld, which means you will have only one large secret instead of your normal 3.
Now, I want you to look over there on the bottom left of your screen. You see that?
Yeah, it's a max.
That is an arrow that is max price.
So, if you're a fan of this seed being as absolutely trolly as possible, you want Goma to block silver arrows deep in the middle of a level 7 that nobody wants to dig.
And you know the other thing about this, by the way, Elsoa?
You found level 2?
This is a second quest mixed overworld, as you point out. What does that mean?
Well, we're going to have only one large secret instead of the normal 3.
And that's a big thing when you have wood arrows being 100 rupees.
And also of note, because it sometimes gets overlooked, is that there will be 10 door repairs instead of the normal 9, which, while that doesn't seem like a lot of a big deal because it's just one extra door repair, it's an extra, in this case, minus 22. Depending on when you find that large secret, that could be a significant factor if you're trying to save up money for, say, that arrow purchase, and then suddenly you just find a whole bunch of door repairs.
So what else are we dealing with here? Because there's one big flag that Fred added, which is part of the new update.
Well, this flag will force an overworld block of at least one item. Now, this could be, it's a dungeon that is blocked by something like the recorder. We have a great large secret.
Yeah. Where's Lost Cards Van when you need them?
I don't know.
Doing some sort of press your luck.
Probably.
Anyways, continuing on with what you're saying about the blocks.
Yes. So, at least one of recorder, raft, or power bracelet will be required. Multiple of those could be required. They could be required for multiple things, and they could also, I believe the logic works out this way. I would need to confirm, but if I'm running through the logic in my head correctly, I believe it may be very slow chance, but possible that you can get fooled by needing to have all these things if it's a white sword item that is blocked and that white sword item is not required, but I would
Correct.
need to double check the logic on that.
That's the game idea that Fred came up with when he was coming up with the dungeon or the item block, the forced item block. Because if it is a white sword and it turns out to be something like the magical boomerang, well, then Fury's in trouble, but it's not that big of a deal. Now, one other thing to note about these flags, I don't know if you've mentioned it yet, Heart Shuffle's not on.
That is correct. So we won't be seeing any.
Oh, hi!
Wow. Random Effect off to a great start. Immediately took that large secret, bought wood arrows with it, and has now used those wood arrows to find a white sword, which means that when he finds the white sword or the wood sword cave, he can take that candle. Which does open up a couple extra possibilities for a free candle, and given that it's second quest money, that free candle may have a lot more value than you would think otherwise.
Nice open Triforce here in this level 1. Add some free bombs, but Random Effect is not in the place to actually go ahead and pick those up at this point, now that he's got a maximum bombs of 8. So he is looking for that second item. And now, as I mentioned before, the hearts are not shuffled. So we do know we've got the heart container somewhere in here, but there is one more item that's going to be on the floor in one of these rooms inside of this level 1.
And something that you might have picked up on is you notice on the overworld, the ropes are kind of flashing a little bit, almost as if they're going through.
Right. That's right, because we did add another flag to this mix here that you're about ready to allude to.
Yes, and that is the second quest enemies, as we can clearly see from the red and blue bubbles in this room. So the second quest enemies will do a couple of things. First and foremost, yeah, well, it doesn't change the Lionel swords. They just still absolutely wreck you. But, so they add in the red and blue bubbles. The red bubbles will permanently take away your ability to use the sword. The blue bubbles will return it. The rope base HP is increased to 4 from 1. And also...
Power bracelet, second item, and 1.
So that whole overworld block thing we were discussing probably about 2 minutes ago is now relevant.
Fire's going down in 1 white sword hit is a real nice find. Now, I think Random Effect was hoping to find another key inside of this dungeon now that he's got both of the items that are here. Again, as we already mentioned before, the other item is going to be a heart container because the hearts are not being shuffled here. So now Random Effect can just go ahead and grab this Triforce and a key to leave this level 1. And Chest Jerk's here in this level 1 as well, about to pick up this white sword.
And if you give a runner of these guys' caliber this white sword early, it is very likely that they are just going to fly through this seed. So hold on to your hats, folks.
So one thing we do want to bring up, as Fury finds level 9 up on Death Mountain, one thing we will want to bring up is that this is going to be the flags throughout the entire tournament for Speed Gaming Live. The tournament, hey, Random Effect has already purchased a candle, I bet.
I actually took one out of a bonus cave.
That's why he's not picking anything up in the wood sword. And by the way, that wood sword cave, vanilla. I thought this was supposed to be randomized.
Hey, the randomizer decided we're just going to put it in vanilla because nobody will go there.
Anyways, just to continue on with the discussion here, so Speed Gaming Live for the Zelda 1 Randomizer tournament will begin in mid-October. There will be a group play segment. It's going to be a round-robin group segment, and it will lead into a bracket segment of the tournament that will follow that, which will depend on how many entries we get into the tournament, how big the bracket portion of the tournament is going to be, but it is going to be a tournament that once again is going to begin in mid-October with a group stage and then coming to an end during the Speed Gaming Live festivities with the bracket stage. In fact, we'll have the bracket start at the beginning of November. And I believe we've got a command for Speed Gaming Live 2021. I believe it's SGL21. And if it's not that, then I'll figure out what the command is.
That reminds me, I should probably go put in the official form tonight.
Yeah, now that we've got the official final flags here from Fred, and this was what we were waiting on, because when Fred made the original announcement, he mentioned about how he wanted to add something else. We were going to add something else to this, And this was exactly what it was. So it's going to be interesting to find out what that one blocked thing is going to be. We haven't seen the white sword item yet.
That is correct. And we've only seen levels 1, 2, 9, and now 6 on random effects side. And of our blocking items, we've only seen the power bracelet so far, which could be the key to solve the block. But
And one thing is that because we are using a second quest mixed overworld, there is a better chance that the power bracelet's going to lead to something, since it leads to more than just the 4 spots on the map that were used to be take any roads.
you know what I really like about this seed so far?
What's that?
Oftentimes, just
more power for an already powerful random effect.
I think the game is just throwing combat at them. Like, no, just go fight things.
Now that would have been something if that turned out to be the silver arrows, because that was a Goma.
Yes, but that does get a little bit to what I'm getting at is that I like that. Normally, when you buy the wooden arrows, you buy them more as an investment for later. Because either you don't have the bow by that point, or you're saying, okay, well, I have other weaponry, but I'm going to buy these arrows in the event of a Goma block. And here you've got to see that buying those arrows early is just opening up so much that it really kind of, to me, shows that the early arrow purchase, generally speaking, is something that you really want to consider.
There's the raft. That is our white sword item. So we do know that we're going to have a dungeon blocked by something. Now there's 1 or 2 other items that can block a dungeon.
So I believe they're called a Tutti Flute and that item that doesn't exist.
Now what about that item makes it not exist?
Well, you see, I went to Home Depot, and last time I went to Home Depot, somebody decided to try out the grills in store, so I couldn't get the step ladder while I was there.
That sounds like a personal problem.
I mean, I can't help people wanting to try out grills in store.
Now, what were they trying to try out that grill with? Hamburgers, hot dogs, chicken?
We never got the answer to that. Outside of, I think it was a propane tank based grill. So then my second question is, why did nobody notice the propane tank being rolled in?
Guess, yeah, the third question is, was this guy on the sauce?
I don't know. I didn't stick around long to find out.
That had to be quite the day at the Home Depot.
Yes. As we see multiple runners picking up the raft, which conveniently looks like a pack of hot dogs. So maybe that's what it was.
Oh, so that's why they were wanting to grill. It's funny the fact that Fury still has only 3 hearts. Is the only one who doesn't have the sword. And yeah, you don't want to take a death here.
It looks like he just routed a little bit differently and has not been over to the area where level 1 is yet.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about this game. It does definitely come down to routing. You're going to find runners finding all the good things early on for some. Others, it's going to be the case where it's going to take them a little while longer. Now, Fury does have the bow and arrow. Now, the problem is without that sword, he's going in the wrong direction. I think he's going in the wrong direction. I'll confirm in just a moment. Anyways, we have now found a item blocked level 4.
Well, the one thing to note about Fury's situation is if he does get the wand here, he will have that permanent combat that is effectively going to make a substitute for a sword until witch herbs are found.
We know he's not going to find it in there. It's going to be transport staircase. And as random effect isn't on this level 4, as we've pointed out, it is over power bracelet blocked. And that could very well be our 1, but there could be more than just 1.
Precisely. There could be as many as, well, however many levels are left and found.
So Fury did pick up the Triforce out of this level 6. Now, going back in, no. That's a no.
I don't fault the decision at all. It makes sense when you have no weapon besides the arrows. You don't know what all's going to be in there. You don't know how big the dungeon's going to be.
Ooh. Name that ink blot.
It looks like an Atari sprite for a snake.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
But it's holding something. Because that little part that random effects in now that juts out looks a little bit less snake-like to me.
It's holding a tray. Fury's in level 1.
Random effect has the Triforce out of 4. That is his third. Fury is going to find their Triforce in level 1, but will opt to continue further.
Yeah, if he went to the right, he would have found the room that had the white sword, but it has not gone in that direction. We know you'll go back into it at this point in time. Level 1's one where you definitely want to explore. All right, what's the item in level 4? Well, that's helpful.
I don't know. Just getting rid of all the locked doors and turning them into basically open doors with a sound effect seems pretty good. But we might need to see a very heavily blocked dungeon to be convinced. As we see that wizards are in level 2.
Yes, they are. It's the only level we've seen them in so far.
I have a gut feeling they're going to be a 9.
I think the odds are pretty good of that right at this moment. Level 3 has been located. So if you're tracking at home, 5, 7, and 8 still to be found.
Gesture has opted to take a retry. Fury's going to get their white sword. Bogey has just picked up a heart container out of a bonus cave.
Chester is at this point in time checking the bomb spots up here at Death Mountain. So I'm going to assume if they weren't anything, Chester was going to just simply say, nope, thank you, bye.
I could see that. So we have a Triforce blocked item in level 3.
A what?
So one of the flags that we forgot to mention is that remove most open stairs is on. And this room is a diamond stair that was converted into a push block stair in the center. But the item that would normally be placed in that diamond stair or corridor stair or whatever type of stair it actually was got put into the corner, which is where the stair shows up. And, well, it is a transport in this case, so I might have been wrong that it was a Triforce blocked item, but you still had a Triforce blocked stair that you could not go in until you picked up the Triforce.
It could still very well be a Triforce blocked stairs in the sense that you needed to grab the Triforce in order to get into the second segment.
Exactly.
Now, we know this can't be a staircase here because of the shutter doors. That remains to be true.
That would be a flag.
What's that?
Allow stairs and shutter door rooms.
That might overload the game.
You sure it wouldn't overload the runners?
They're already overloaded.
But we didn't turn on rupee speed.
84 rupees. By the way, that's one of the new flags that Fred has thrown into the mix here in the new update for Zelda 1 Randomizer. And we're not playing it as part of the Speed Gaming Live flags, but it is something that is now available where you can hide the amount of rupees it costs for things. Oh, Fury giving the wood sword a how do you do?
But that flag goes a little bit further. Not only does it hide the costs of items, it hides your current rupee amount and your current key and bomb amounts as well.
And so we grab the book because the book does work as an atlas.
And given the dungeons that we have not yet seen, having the maps for those dungeons could actually be quite valuable. I would argue 8 and 9 a little bit less so, if only because usually those dungeons are so large and so bulky anyway. You're more likely to run into issues with bombs where the bomb walls just aren't there. Fury has picked up a potion. And left the bomb behind on the ground. Belgi is in 4. Chestrick is checking Death Mountain. Fury is checking the coast. Random Effect will be close behind any roads. Triforce pickup for 4 in Bogey. Wait, reverse that.
So Bogey, Triforces out of 1, 4, 6. Random Effect, Triforces out of the 1, 3, 4, 6. Fury, 1, 6, and Chestrick, 1 and 6 so far. And we have a level 7 that is underneath the Armos at the Lost Hills.
This looks kind of like the smokestacks you see it like on like a factory roof.
You're not wrong. By the way, in case you haven't figured it out, we do not have hints on. We have community announcements here as part of our flag set here, so therefore you're not going to get yourself any sort of good, valuable hints telling you where like the silver arrows are or whatnot.
But what about the one hint that says find a Triforce piece in level 7?
Well, you see, I'm not so sure about this yet. Random's going to have to give us some more information about this level 7.
Or what about the one that says Patra has the map? Or something else? Kill it and find out. That seems like a useful hint.
We're going to have to wait to see if somebody kills the Patra to see whether or not that is a true hint.
Well, we shouldn't ask him.
Yeah, he just works here.
So you're going to see the runners clear out some of these rooms that, if you're familiar with the first quest of this game, you may not think to clear out because they can have push blocks due to the second quest rooms being on. That is a more common flag amongst the just general randomizer races, as that one seems to be on almost all the time, if not all the time. But if you are just used to those first quest runs, then it may be like, why is there a push block in a 5x2? Or why is there a push block in the triple bar room? That would be why.
What's your favorite flag?
Are we talking that I enjoy playing or that I
You
like
enjoy playing?
Swordless is up there, actually.
Well, you've met with a terrible fate, haven't you?
Clearly. Swordless is one I enjoy. Others that I enjoy are plus minus 2 HP. I personally like second quest dungeons. And it's kind of weird, but I find them very interesting to tackle, and your decision making in them is a bit different than in a Shapes or first quest setting.
Well, of course, because of how many staircases there are in levels 7 and 8 to begin with.
However, I'm now going to turn that same question around on you, sir.
You see, I've always been a fan of the random item blocks level 9. In other words, what people like to call the Tempest.
I believe another term for it is also the Holy Grail.
Correct. And we give the rich more riches. The red ring in 7.
Alright, so the game has been giving us everything so far. What do you think will be the one thing that just becomes the massive holdout for the runners, as we see apparently the silver arrows are on the coast?
I think that's easy. The recorder to get past the ladder from a dig dogger in level 8.
I will accept that. And I might even venture to go one step further and say that the recorder will be early in level 8 with the Triforce, and the ladder will be extremely deep.
Now let's do level 5 for something that is easy Triforce but deep. Because, you know, there's some runners that like to take gambles.
Mm-hmm.
They can make or break rando races.
Yes, that is one of the common themes that I've seen and been on both ends of.
It feels so good when you're on the right end of it, but it feels so bad when you're on the wrong end of it.
Absolutely. But that's part of the thrill of these, at least to me.
Well, yeah, for sure. Random fact about to get that knowledge about the ladder blocked silvers.
Now, of note, important items in 9 is off, so we will not need to double dip 9 to get those silver arrows off of the coast.
Why did we do that for?
That's a valid question.
And to be serious and also transparent with everybody that is watching, when we did discuss the flags, this was a joint effort between Fred as well as Krim, TGE, and myself. We definitely went through a lot of possibilities. We took a look at what we did for last year's Speed Gaming Live, and we kind of came up with what did we like about it, what didn't we like, what can we add, what can't we add, to make this a very, very interesting tournament. Because right now, as we speak, we're playing for over $600 in a possible prize pool.
Which is not a bad chunk of change.
It definitely isn't. Now, if you want to get more information, you can just go online to speedgaming.org/ I believe SG Live 21 is the web address where you can get all the information about all of the great tournaments that are going to be a part of Speed Gaming Live 2021, which will be online. A lot of tournaments are starting their qualifiers. They have either started them or they will be starting them in the near future. And as I pointed out before, this tournament here is going to be going into a setup where we start off with a random seeded groups into a bracket. Should be a fun tournament.
I would completely agree. And I'm a little bit biased towards Second Quest, so I like seeing more Second Quest stuff show up.
Rat Block Dungeon.
So level 8.
That is a level 8.
And this is the smog that is coming out of the smokestacks.
Have we found a Triforce that didn't require you killing a room have we found a Triforce that requires you to kill a room yet?
I don't think so, but I don't know if we've seen where but I don't know about 2 because we've only seen one runner really dig into 2 a little bit, and they do not have that level 2 Triforce yet.
Yeah, that would be Chest Jerk. Of course, level 2 being infiltrated by Wizrobes. So if you press up and A right now, you can get yourself 250 rupees. I don't know what you can do with those 250 rupees.
I just pressed up an A on my keyboard, and I'm not richer, so... I'm pretty sure we're going to call that a deceptive hint.
Okay, so we're being told by our tracker that is working heavily behind our scenes right here, and special thanks to them, that we've had the Rupee boss holding out a Triforce. So there has been one where you've had to clear a room to get the Triforce.
I sometimes feel bad for the Rupee boss.
It's often misunderstood.
Yes. It's a little quirk in the game where if you have a shutter door, if you have a room like this where there's shutter doors, but there's the 10 rupees on the floor, you have to pick up all the rupees to get the doors to open. So they're technically counted as an enemy. And then because they don't return, unless you up A out of the room or leave the room without resetting the room state, then they're also considered a boss.
And that can be a real fun way of getting yourself stacked up with some rupees early on. Like you find yourself a dungeon and there's a rupee boss 2 rooms in. You could use that to help grind yourself up towards some expensive purchases, but we don't have that luxury here. Now, thankfully, Random Effect has found that nice pack of bombs laying there on the floor to help him out with this room.
So I think the hardest enemy in the game is the grid, followed by the keys. And then the hardest boss is either Manhandler or Dodongo.
Well, there's Patra. Now, we know he doesn't have the map.
Well, you have one map, yes, but what about second map?
I would say yes, but we're not talking breakfast.
Apparently Patra isn't either, because they're just going to stay over on that left side of the room and not actually go hang out with Random Effect.
Yeah, that's a tough up and A to do at that stage, but you have to.
Yeah, it's either that or you just stare at the Patra for however long it takes it to waddle its way over. And that's one of the risks that you run sometimes in these larger dungeons is when you go into these larger dungeons, if you get deep in the dungeon and then find, oh, shoot, now I'm ladder blocked with a Patra and I don't have a way out of this, you've now got to retrace your steps back through that whole dungeon.
Now, Bogey has found an interesting room over here in the top left portion, and Random Effect will be making his way over here real soon. It has a key right there in the top right corner, which is very, very telling.
Yes, that is a telltale sign of an... Ooh.
That's your access to the silver arrows.
And that is also potentially Triforce and Go mode.
Yep, the only thing is, we have not seen level 5 yet.
And when you combine that with we don't know what's blocking the Triforce in level 2, it could be a Dig Dogger. Dig Dogger could be blocking Triforce in 5. Dig Dogger could be in 9, blocking the only path to Zelda due to a combination of shoot rooms and non-existent bomb walls.
That's evil.
What, this room?
No, the way you're thinking.
I feel like you should be used to this by now.
I am. Absolutely, I am. It still doesn't make it any less evil.
I mean, you're not wrong. But I also was kind of hoping for the 5-item chain reaction. Because I'm always hoping to see that when I'm not running the seed. Of course, when I'm running the seed, I want it to be nice and smooth.
We've already had a power bracelet block dungeon. We've already had a wrapped block dungeon. So what do you put? What more would you like?
I'd actually like to see level 5 on the river spots that require the ladder.
That would be evil.
But would it though? Because the runners are likely to find the ladder here in this level 8.
Well, knowing that the silvers are on the coast and you haven't found the ladder yet at the 32-minute mark of this run, oh yeah, you're definitely looking for this level. You're looking for the items of this level. All right, we have 3 runners inside of this level 8. The other one had just left for the Triforce.
And there's the unfortunate... Well, Patra's behaving a little bit better, but now Fury has another problem where you might not survive.
Now, I do notice that Fury has a potion. Why does Fury have the potion?
I think what it is with White Sword, Magical Sword isn't as much of a power boost. And when you combine that with not having a red ring, that may be Fury hedging their bets against, okay, red ring's probably a 9 and I don't want to have to go dig 9 for a red ring. I'll go ahead and grab a potion here, and maybe if I somehow get into near max money, I can pick up a blue ring later.
But that's not the only thing I was going with that statement.
Oh.
Remember, we've got second quest enemies on.
Just candle boost through the red bubbles 1.5 million times. No big deal, right? Oh, wait. You need a red candle to do that?
Yeah, exactly. So pretty much where we're going with that statement is the fact that Fury does have the potion, which is going to be a helpful find or a helpful thing to have in your arsenal in the event that you get bubbled on your way to Ganon.
Seeing a comment in the chat about somebody would like to see the bait be needed, and I fully support their desire.
Why is that?
Well, partially because bait blocks are often some of the rarest type of blocks you can get because they don't really require anything other than just a very inconvenient room.
For sure. And you're right there. I mean, you don't often see a bait block, but it can definitely reward a runner who does have the bait in their arsenal at this point.
But I almost actually like when there is what appears to be a bait block, but there's alternately a long-winded path to get around it, to where you really have to decide, if you don't already have the bait, do you take the time to go get the bait, or do you work through that alternate path? Because then you get a little bit more decision-making involved. And I like when the randomizer makes you have to think instead of just putting your brain on autopilot for most of the scene.
That is now 3 runners who have found themselves toe-to-toe with that Petra, the upper right-hand corner of this level 8. I don't think Bogey did. But the other 3, they had up and A. Plus 6 on the bomb upgrade, by the way, as Chest Jerk now has a max bomb capacity of 14.
That seems like a significant number.
It's the most you can get.
And when you consider the prices about 16 rupees cheaper than its vanilla counterpart, it's a pretty good deal.
Oh, for sure. Fury suffering a death inside of this level 8, unfortunately, as Random Effect now explores this northeast corner. So the question is, where is level 5?
It's out to sea on a little island that you need to walk on water. Oh, wait. That's Zelda 2. Okay, so it's on an island that you have to come at from the light world because you can't... Oh, wait, no, that's Link to the Past.
Are you going to throw in a Link's Awakening reference while we're at it?
Well, that one is inside of a lake that you have to swim to instead of walk on water to get to. And then...
Now, which one are you talking about there? Are you talking about Catfish Mall or level 4? I forget which one, what one that name is.
I'm referring to Catfish as level 4's Angler's Tunnel.
Okay, yep. You're right.
And then you get into the 3D Zeldas and it all kind of gets kerfuffled. And then you get to Majora's Mask, which doesn't even have 5 dungeons, so there is no level 5.
Holy fairyception. You can tell something about Chest Jerk's consecutive counter at that point.
Yes. So the consecutive counter, when it reaches a value of 16 kills in a row, you will get a fairy on the enemy if it drops an item. That fairy will not be stored like your normal 10 count will. And every enemy you kill on that frame, you will get a fairy for it.
So if you're at 12 and you kill 4 enemies, 13, 14, 15, 16, they all will be dropping fairies for you. There's the ladder for Chest Jerk.
Probably a little bit annoyed to be finding that this late, but also happy to see it.
We have now located the level 5 on top of the waterfall, I believe it was.
Well, sorry to everybody who wanted to see the river spots, but we got close.
Now,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say that level 5 looks like a Super Metroid boss.
It's Crocomire. I would say Kraid, but Kraid would be a little bit more rounded and the head wouldn't be as long.
I was thinking about those things that are in Meridia that drop down into the quicksand. I forget what they're called.
Oh, the little baby Dragon things?
Not the Dragons. Hey, there you go, Fury. Now we found your magical boomerang here in this level 8. And of course, like fine wine, Fury picks it up.
Well, now I'm trying to think of what enemy this is. I don't think it's the Yapping Maws. Random effect finds a heart in level 5. I don't think we've seen the item in here yet. If you're random effect, though, do you actually dig out the item in 5, or do you just leave as soon as you see a Triforce?
All right, I was actually thinking the Eviers, but flipped 180 degrees.
Oh, that's the name of them. Okay. Well, I learned something today. Also, apparently somebody's been summoned because a magic boomerang was picked up.
We don't speak about things that get bumped in the night.
Well, that's why you gotta set your washer on a more gentle setting so that it doesn't start walking in the middle of the night.
So that's what I'm doing wrong in life.
I don't know. I don't know what settings you use.
I thought that was what Tumble was supposed to do, but I guess not. Hey, Gliak Blight Triforce for random effects, so therefore I think we're going to have our answer. He is saying goodbye to this level 5. And for good reason.
I think if you're random effect, it's a no-brainer decision. We still need to figure out what to use Triforce is blocked by.
Wiz robes.
Well, yes, but also if there's a certain sea urchin.
All right, well, we are getting the river spots here, but we know it's not going to be a dungeon at this point.
Right.
Now, here's a question. Has Random Effect even seen level 2? Remember, Random Effect went a little bit of a different way than everyone else did when he started off the seed, so I don't know if he's been to the graveyard.
I don't recall if he has or not.
So this would explain why, at this point in time, why Random Effect would be seeking out items over here. Or seeking out entrances.
It seems reasonably logical to me that if you're looking for just one dungeon, you go to wherever the most dense area is.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless you make the like Galaxy Brain mega gamble and go to the non-dense location.
Yeah. And the big thing here is that Random Effect has not been to there, but he doesn't have the recorder, which would open up 2 of the locations in that area.
That's right. So that will de-incentivize doing the Grave versus Death Mountain, where there's only one location you can't open currently. And on top of that, with the Power Bracelet, all of West Death Mountain's available, which is 8 potential spots. Chesterk is now in level 7.
We never saw the magical sword, did we?
This game has a magical sword?
In theory, yeah, but
It's probably recorder blocked.
it probably is at this point in time. I'm just noting that because of the fact that Bogey now has 10 hearts.
According to our tracker, we have seen it. It's over in the graveyard. Fury's picking up their Triforce out of level 8.
Ah, yeah, the graveyard take any road. All right. Thank you very much, Kiros, for doing the heavy lifting for both Elso and myself here on this showcase of the Speed Gaming Live 2021 flags. Once again, Speed Gaming Live 2021. The main body is going to be between November 5th through November 14th here on Speed Gaming. And we do definitely invite you to come along and join us for several great tournaments. I think we're up to, 22 now?
I haven't looked at the official list in a while. I just kind of honed in on the couple of tournaments that I'm looking at joining, which is exactly 2 at this point.
Well, I wish you good luck in those 2 tournaments that you do play in, probably this one being one of them.
Yes, this is the main one that I'm going to be focusing my energy on, I think.
That'll make 3 years in a row that you played in the Z1R tournament at SGL.
Hopefully not 3 years in a row of going 0 and X.
Nah, this year you'll go something in X, but not 0 and X.
Instructions unclear. Went 1 and X.
Well, that's better than 0 and X.
That it is. But, yeah, like, having had some time behind this flag set, I think you guys did do a good job of finding a flag set that makes it very interesting, but also doesn't make it but also keeps the race links to where they don't start to feel like, oh, it's just a slog to get through the seed because you got to full clear everything everywhere all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, we want to make sure that it's challenging enough because of the fact that it's going to be for over $600 in prize pool. And of course, we're still accepting contributions to go towards that prize pool, which, could make a difference on how high this tournament goes money-wise. But it's definitely something where Random Effect's about to get into level 2 right here, which now means that Random Effect just needs to get this Triforce and make his way to level 9. But what is blocking the Triforce here? We don't know. But that's the big thing it came to this. We want to make sure that it's challenging, which is why we included the things such as the 2 HP. And that's why Chester, by the way, couldn't get the Triforce out of this level 2. It has an immediate ladder block.
All right, I'm calling the river a boss.
But that's why we did the plus or minus 2 HP. It's because we want to make sure that there's the challenge there where, yeah, there's going to be luck winning races, but, execution is going to be a big play towards whether or not you succeed or fail. And there's our first leave your money or bombs for the seed.
Thankfully, it's a pretty good price for the leave your money, so I don't see many of the runners leaving bombs. Chester may consider it if he's low on money.
Fury's got the issue where he's got 6 rupees. He may be the only one who has to leave a bomb behind. 3/4 was in 2, by the way.
Well, that takes away all potential blocks in level 9 outside of a very rare meat block. And a meat block in level 9, while it has been seen, is definitely outside of the norm for how level 9 tends to go.
And with that discovery, Random Effect is the first of these runners to get into the Triforce and Go mode. We'll also grab that heart container here before now hunting down the Triforce of this level 2.
Now, we often talk about level 9 as the great equalizer, the great decider.
Now, I do want to ask one thing before we get any further, because we're almost to where the Triforce is here for Random Effect. If Kiros could switch the audio over to Random Effect, that'd be awesome. As we get ready to listen for those things we got to listen for in level 9. That's if Random Effect has quality audio that we can use. There it is. Thank you for the switch. And with that, we're heading to level 9. Go ahead, Elsa.
So, level 9 is... the way you handle level 9 and the way you handle levels 1 through 8 sometimes have to be a little bit different. First and foremost, level 9 is the only dungeon that has an audio cue that you're going to be listening for, which is the Roar of Ganon. When you hear that, he will either be one room adjacent to you, or he's in the same room you're in, and you just happen to walk into it, and you may not have picked it up because of shutter doors or other boss roars masking it, especially things like Leox.
So we are listening for that Roar of Ganon. We are also... oh, that's a fun first room. And never mind, he's in the first room.
So the other thing we're looking for... by the way, this is a terrible room to fight Ganon in. So the other thing we're looking for is a single shutter room, like what we saw just above this room. A single shutter door that does not open when all the enemies are defeated, or in this case, will automatically now open for Random Effect, means that that is the location of Zelda. and I'm curious to see if this is going to be the Dream 9.
Oh my goodness, it is!
It is the Dream 9 boat.
Wow!
That, okay, well, that was actually a little anticlimactic. We built up all that 9, and then it's just, yeah, here you go.
Blink and you miss it. Random Effect has finished the race and has finished overall in second place by 13 seconds. Side time was first, 48 minutes, 21 seconds. Random Effect, second place, 48 minutes, 34 seconds.
Technically, that would be a Zelda found first, because Zelda was directly on the path to Ganon. This is actually a very fast... From what I've seen, this is a pretty fast time for this flag set. Like, a lot of things fell right in the order that you needed them to. The seed seemed to be very generous and forthcoming with its items, and we are joined by a Random Effect here in the booth with us. GG's.
Hey, thanks.
How about that level 9?
I don't know. I've seen more difficult level 9s in my days, I will say.
The blink you miss in, now it's going to be a level 9 where it's going to be really, really hard to be taken off the right path considering the fact where Ganon was.
Yeah, I don't think you can... You had to go that way. You hear him when you enter. You hear him when you have to go the way that you go. And then I don't know why you would bomb to the left when you saw a shutter door just north. There'd be no reason. So yeah, I think everybody's level 9 should be exactly the same. There's really no reason it should be any different.
And thankfully no red bubbles on the way to Ganon either.
Yeah, that was nice.
So is this your first time playing the SGL flags?
I mean, it seemed fine. There was, I mean, the only thing that's right, the biggest addition is that we force an overworld thing to be blocked, which in this case was a couple levels actually, I think.
Yeah.
But really, yeah, I mean, it was fine. I think that's a cool little addition that can be helpful in sort of a search, but it could also be potentially it could hinder you, just like anything else. Where I got the raft and I found level 8 and thinking, oh, that's the block. Whereas what was the other level that was blocked?
Level 4 over in the power bracelet spot near the desert.
Exactly. So like you could skip, getting the power bracelet in a dungeon, thinking, oh, you're done. Yeah, but it seems cool. I like the little addition there. I literally just downloaded this tonight, so I haven't looked at all of if there's any other additions, what they are at all. So I have to go back and read the notes from Fred.
Right. Of the flags that were into play here, the new ones, the force block was the only one that was added on that wasn't normally part of the randomizer program. Everything else, 2 HP plus or minus on the enemies. Bosses also had the plus or minus 2 HP, which really didn't come into play. And the second quest, Mixed Overworld, which those arrows for 100 rupees were nasty, but the fact that you had a pretty easy to get to white sword because you bought those arrows, that was 100 rupees well spent.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. Actually, I didn't even check on this. It says full start shuffle for. The sword was just randomized in that location, right?
Yeah, it just so happened to get to that one location.
I was gonna say, I wondered if I missed that on the flags, but I guess I didn't. And yeah, I it's a no-brainer once I wanted a weapon as soon as possible. The only mistake I think I made in this entire run really was not even a mistake. It's just that I got a candle out of the take any when I could have gotten a heart because the candle was right next to me with the sword. That was the only quote-unquote mistake I made.
Yeah, but at that point, you're basically To me, the decision is basically, do I take the immediate candle now when I have burn spots near me, or do I say, well, I don't know where my wood sword is, so I could hope to find that
Exactly.
soon.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's an air quote mistake. It's not really a mistake, as I think I made. I made the right choice for what it was. It just kind of was very unfortunate that the next little cave over was
Right.
It's
It's
could have gotten
more
me a free one, and I could have got an extra heart.
right. It's more of a luck thing in that case.
Yeah.
And Bogey has proven us wrong here, Elsua.
Yeah, he decided to bomb, left out of Ganon's room, and is now on the wild goose chase of wild goose chases. At this point,
man.
a death is probably the best thing that could happen to him. As weird as that sounds, because that would put him right back at the entrance and see that door.
Or compass.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yes.
But knowing this game, the compass was one room north of Zelda.
So the seed seemed to be pretty generous as far as where the item locations were. That as long as you had some kind of weapon, like all four of you guys on stream bought arrows almost immediately after getting that large secret, and having that weapon just really just begot more weapons, more combat, and it really didn't seem like the seed was kind of stopping you at all. It just kind of said, okay, here's all of your stuff, go do.
Yeah, I mean,
Here's the big block.
I right ordered. I definitely right ordered it. Nothing was blocking me really, except for I got ladder blocked in 8 one time, and I had to up an A.
And Bogey has found the compass, and now is probably face palming as he walks to Zelda after doing an up and A.
But also, kind of interestingly, Chester has picked up a magical sword on 11 hearts.
Well, you know he's got to have hearts, so therefore that was kind of making sense that he would be picking that up. So that would be Bogey finishing in 6th place. Give you the other finishers here. Captain Green finished in 3rd at 49.53. Shaddy was 51.28. And Homer J. Smash was 54.22. And I bet there's a few people that are like, holy cow, how's this a sub hour? Well, the seed gave you everything.
Yeah, like,
I'm curious as to how many sub hours are going to be. I would imagine at least two more.
Well, Chester right now is inside of this level 9, facing off against Ganon. It's got that magical sword. There's 2 hits down, waiting to get that 3rd hit over here. That's the 3, and that's the 4. Now does Chester walk immediately to the north? And the answer is yes. So Chester will be one of our next finishers.
and we'll join the sub hours as well. What I find particularly interesting is, Random, you were the only one of the 4 runners so far that have gotten a red ring. Fury's currently in level 2, but I doubt he's going to go back to level 7 ever.
Yeah, I didn't. I think did I find the Triforce first, and I just checked a few rooms and then got it. Like I still needed a lot of items at that point. I think so. I was like, I knew I needed a ladder still, because I'd seen the coast and I hadn't been in level 8 yet. So there's a lot of things I should have been digging for. So it made sense to do that.
Absolutely, and so therefore, it made sense for you to at least dig out 7 and at least find out what was inside. And of course, it was nice and beneficial for you, the fact that it was the red ring. So Chester finished in 7th, final time of 56.27. 2 more minutes to get more sub hours, as we're joined by Bogey.
And Chester.
Good evening.
GG, gents.
GG.
GG's. I saw out of the corner of my eyes a lot of finishes in the race room. I'm like, okay, I'm overthinking this. I wonder if that one room with the whiz robes is Zelda, and I found the compass.
Yeah. So we speculated that you did a face palm when you found out that it was one room north where the whiz robes were.
Yeah, once I saw like 2 or 3 of those finishes come in, I'm like, it has to be that room. So yeah, it was a pretty easy 9. Just I think for me it was more a matter of finding 9, but not too bad of a seed.
Yeah, I thought the seed was pretty generous.
Yeah, I believe everyone who's here on this call, their first sword was the white sword that they got out of level 1.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. Found the large secret, or one of them. Or actually, it was the only one, right? Because it's second
Yeah, it's a second quest
overworld.
mixed overworld, so it's going to be the only one. And what a top secret that was at 133.
Yeah. So I went back and had the bow, obviously, and then went back and bought those arrows, and those came in handy in level 1. And yeah, it was kind of funny after the fact finding the wood sword in its vanilla location.
Yeah, which is just a random thing in this case. As we've got a couple more finishers here. We've got F. Coughlin coming on with a 58.46 for 8th place. Zarnax 42 with a 59.09. I don't think Fury's going to get that sub-hour.
It's going to be close. Fury does have a potion here.
Yeah, he's going to lose 2 once he gets this potion off. Yep.
Really, the big difference between a lot of you guys was a lot of you guys had taken similar paths in kind of the mid game. Just the early routing was a little bit different, and that's really where most of the time difference was, is just how quickly each of you got to level 1.
I'm trying to think of how I saved 10 minutes in this seed. I can't think of anything. I wouldn't do anything different.
I did, I forget what my order exactly was. I think it was 1, 6, 4, 3, 7, 8, 5, 2, 9. So I didn't burn any of the Deadwoods really at all. I took the Any Road, and that was the only thing in the Deadwoods I did. And I didn't find the item. I didn't find one item in 8, and I didn't find the item in 5. Everything else I got, actually, except for the 2 items in 9. But
Yeah.
I did pretty well overall. I think I streamlined a lot of dungeons. The only dungeon I took a little bit of a detour in is 8, slightly, and 7 slightly, because I actually got the red ring out of there, apparently. So I slightly detoured in there.
And I think just quickly pointing out, the Fury SK does finish time of 1 hour, 19 seconds. So just missing out on the sub-hour. But GG's to all of our runners here on the restream for tonight. Now, the one thing I do want to point out is the fact that only one of you had enough hearts to pick up that magical sword. Mr. Gotta have heart yourself.
Gee, I wonder who. It's a mystery.
I don't know. You had hardly any.
I took the exact same route that Ari did. I mean, I burned the Deadwoods and found nothing. So I'm guessing excessive overworld exploration is what did me in this seed.
And some of these levels also had Triforces relatively early. Like the interesting thing was level 6 was super fast if you were hunting down that one item, and Random Effect was the only one who did get that item out of 6.
I was the only one with the wand?
Yep.
Yeah, no, I skipped. I got 6 Triforce and never went back. 7
Which
Triforce, never went back.
Yeah, the item was one room to the east of the Triforce with a Goma block.
See, I've had that happen too many times. You know, it's like, oh, let me just go. What is it? It's the Rick rule, right? You got to see it. Rick 6. You got to see at least 6 rooms, and then you're good. Then I was gonna check just a few more and then pick it up, and it turned out wand. Boom.
To be fair, I did go into 6 rooms, so I still passed the Rick 6 rule.
I might have gone to 6 rooms. I didn't
We
exactly count.
need somebody to do the something 7 rule, and that I would have been better.
I only went to 5 rooms and I didn't find the wand, so there you go.
Speaking of 5, Fury.
Hey, 5 deaths even. Would you look at that?
Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
Ohio.
It would have gone a lot better if I went the right way the first time in level 8.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, I believe 3 of you out here on this restream got trapped in with that lovely little Patra in that Chevy room.
I tried so hard, got so far, and in the end, it didn't even matter.
That little dead end in the top right corner looked so inviting for hiding an important item.
Yeah.
But we'll never know. I guess we found everything, so no, there can't be anything there.
Nope, I found the magic boomerang and picked it up.
Well, of course you did.
Yes, you did.
It was in there.
It was in level 8, and
you found it. You found it
you're
just
the
like
only
I
one
found
who
enough
did it.
parts for mags.
So,
So
is
random
the is the wooden boomerang in 9 then maybe? Did somebody find the item in 5?
5. That's in 5. Wooden boomerangs in 5.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All
I
right.
found it.
According to
Cool.
our tracker, the 2 items in 9 were to be the red candle and the heart container.
Yeah.
A little bit of a shame about that red candle, because it might have been nice if the red bubbles had actually been a factor in 9, or if 9 had been a factor in, well, much of anything.
Yeah, how about that not having to worry about the red bubbles in 9?
That was
Seems
nice.
nice.
Considering I up a retry away from the letter, so I didn't have a potion. That was kind of in the back of my mind.
So any thoughts for Bogey, for Chestrick, and for Fury about the flags that are going to be played here as part of the Speed Gaming Live 2021 tournament?
I like the forced overworld. In this one, actually, I think I found the raft, and also, well, obviously I had to find the raft, but I think I found the raft and the power bracelet around the same time. And I was wondering at the time, I think level 4 was power bracelet blocks.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, I'm like, oh, what if the raft is a red herring? But it was nice that also came into play. I like having something blocked. So I think that's a fun flag to add until I get screwed by it, in which case I will curse it. But it was good to have at least 2 blocks here tonight with the power bracelet and raft. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be interesting. The large secret, the one large secret will definitely come into play at some point, I anticipate. So that's the one thing as I run these that I just keep in the back of my head, that these are going to be poverty seeds for the most part.
But yeah, I think this is not a big representation of these flags when they just throw bow, arrows, and white sword
Right.
at you for absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
It makes it kind of easy.
Yeah.
Imagine if you had a little less weaponry to start for the first half hour. Could be a little different.
Yeah, I imagine 75 to 90 minutes will probably be more the norm than what we were seeing tonight.
Probably with the second quest stuff.
Yeah.
Many
Yeah.
things come about with second quest stuff.
Yeah, the red and blue bubbles. Like, I think I spent a lot of time in 5 because I got red bubbled, and I didn't have the wand. And I think I might have been very close to having no rupees left, so I didn't have much offense. So I was just trying to navigate 5 a little bit too long. But other than that, this was a pretty straightforward, easy seed.
I probably spent the most time in 5 and 8. Every other dungeon was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I know people don't like it, but it could add an interesting element with only one large secret on the overworld to have like mixed hints instead of community hints on. And the reason I say that is just it's more resource management in a way that you have to kind of gamble or decide. It adds another gambling aspect. But it's like, oh, do I want to take my chances on the hints and maybe not get my money back, or especially when you have one large secret, sometimes you have to choose between like the meat and the arrows and a key, or and a hint. Which one are you going to really choose?
Absolutely.
I kind of like that.
Absolutely, and I can understand that. And we definitely did have a long and thoughtful discussion about the implementation, how we were going to implement hints in the flag set here, whether or not we were going to go with community hints or if we were going to go with something like mixed hints. And it came down to pretty much, there's that money aspect, but there's also the luck factor in there as well. And the thing is that, this seed, we definitely got to see some execution, but some of these seeds are definitely going to come down to heavier execution as we move through these flags.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
I would say if you had like Heart Shuffle on, where you had so many items that you had to potentially dig through so many rooms for, then maybe the hints and the money management would be more into play. But as it stands now, you still have to manage your money pretty well if you're not getting some sort of potion or avoiding your red bubbles, because a lot of your offense will come from the bow and arrows if you choose to buy them.
Or if the secrets are really low.
Yeah, we did get lucky with 133.
And 30,
Yeah.
was it 38 for the mid?
38 and 20.
Yeah, they're all nice and beneficial, but the next time we do this for one of the Sunday weeklies, it could very well be that great seed of 51, 30, and 2.
I think the worst I've seen is 125, 52. I think that was the worst I ever seen.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Also,
All right,
that's the worst
gentlemen.
that
I was going to say, let's go ahead and wrap things up here.
upgrade. I went back to buy the bomb upgrade with all my money, and I don't think I ever dropped below 6 bombs the rest of the seed.
That's nice.
Yeah, that was a nice +6 on the bomb upgrade, too.
It was.
All right, any final thoughts before we begin to wrap things up?
GG, everyone, and look forward to playing these flags more.
Yeah, GG. It was fun. I don't get a lot of time to race anymore, so it's really fun when I can get in here.
Yeah,
and
it was definitely
get
nice
there.
seeing you here, Random Effect.
Thank you.
And to
GG's
whoop
and,
our butts again.
GG's and
All right,
teacher
this is-
mechanics to swim.
This is like riding a bike. All right. Thanks, everyone.
All right, see ya.
Thank you.
Before we get going, we do want to shout out our other finishers that we've had in this race. Eat My Steel finished in 11th with a 1:02.09, just 3 seconds ahead of Chaos Finale, who finished in 12th with a 1:02.12, and then Truant Gamer 13th with a 1:07.47, leaving Dr. J, PhD, and Potato Pony still going at it. Cheer them on for this one. Also, what did you think about this race?
It was kind of a breath of fresh air, actually, because oftentimes when you look at these races, there's always like the one item that trips you up, or the one dungeon that the combat is just really difficult in. So when you get a seed like this, where everything just kind of likes to just neatly come together, it does become that breath of fresh air to say, oh yeah, this is something that absolutely can't happen. Is it's not always that there's going to be that one item, because
The seed's not always out to get you.
right. And at least speaking for myself, I've been in kind of like a bad luck streak lately. So even just seeing that it can be broken is quite nice.
So what you're saying is that everyone should be glad that I pulled you into the broadcast booth today, so that way it didn't get blessed with a horrible seed.
Absolutely.
All right, you've heard it here first. Anyways, these are the flags that we're playing for Speed Gaming Live 2021. Once again, get more information about Speed Gaming Live 2021 at speedgaming.org/SG Live. Let's go ahead and shout out Kiros once again. Our forerunners, also, who were our forerunners once again?
They were Mr. Bogey Smalls, Mr. Chestjerk, Mr. Random Effect, and Mr. Fury SK.
Go ahead and follow them because they play a lot of Z1R. They are a lot of gigantic regulars in the community. Random Effect, not quite as much, but that's because, he's a family guy. That being said, that's going to do it for us. For Kiros running things in the back end, for It's Oasis, for helping to get things going on the speed gaming end of things each and every week. We do thank you for all your efforts. And for also, I'm Adirondack Rick saying thank you. We'll see you again next Sunday, 10 p.m. Eastern, for the next edition of Zelda 1 Randomizer Weekly.